Now, originally, my wife has said this to you today as well. Originally, standing for mayor was going to be basically a one-off. I was going to have a real good go, and then I need to go back to work, earn some money and stuff like that. But as the election got closer and closer, and the more I spoke to people, things changed. And why things changed was because I had so many people say to me, if you don't win, Nick, don't give up. If you don't win, just, are you going to stay around? Am I voting for you just for this? And if you don't get it, are you disappearing? Because
you're anticipating one of my two questions, but anyway.
Yeah. So I found myself saying to people, no, I'm in this for the long term. And I meant it when I was saying it.
Yeah.
And all the way through I'm going, I need to tell my wife this.
Yes.
And the sort of conclusion I came to was, deep down inside, I knew it was almost impossible to beat Andy Burnham. But there's always a chance.
Yeah.
And I worked my hardest to beat him, even though I always knew it was very unlikely. Was that good enough? Does that mean when I say to people, I try to change my country and I try to put my country on a better path, did I really mean it because I knew it was almost an impossible task? Have I just taken the easy option to virtue signal and stand...
To send a hollow message, basically.
Hollow message that, look at me, look what I've done. I can now go on with the rest of my life knowing I tried, when deep down inside I knew it wasn't really going to work. And is that the type of person I am? And the more I spoke to people, the more, I mean, I'm not exaggerating now, the people who said to me, I see something in you. You made me want to vote. You say things I want to say, but I've not got the confidence, I've not got the words, I've not got the skill. I'm too afraid to say those things. But everything you say, the things I want to say, that I feel obligated.
Yeah.
That, and as the election, last couple of months of the election, I realised then, this isn't over for me.
I think it's something slightly more psychologically profound than that. And it ties into what I was saying before about, I was absolutely thrilled when you came third. And I was telling everybody, and I was telling people who I knew had no interest in politics, would have no interest in your politics as well. But I didn't care. I was saying, so, and my wife was reacting. And then just talking to Sharon now, your wife, about I could see she's energised as well. Because I think what people are now seeing is a possibility you can win. And that's the difference now. Whereas before it seemed remote. Now, because she came third. I mean, you came third, Nick.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody's told you. You came third in Greater Manchester. I mean, that's a bronze, you know. So people are now looking at you and saying, this guy is a potential winner. And I think people are feeling that. I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
You're feeling that as well. And I think if that message can be sent to the people in Oldham where you're standing as well, this guy potentially can win if you vote for him.
Yeah.
So he's not a long shot.
Yeah. It's not a protest vote.
Yeah, it's not a protest vote. This is a real vote for somebody who potentially could win.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. That's why I think Sharon is supporting you now for this next step. I think that's why you feel more emboldened about the next step. And I think if you can harness that, people like winners at the end of the day.
Yeah, of
they
course.
love winners. Yeah. And they're getting a glimpse of the fact that you could be a winner.
Yeah.
And I think that will changes the whole perspective of things, basically. And if you look at the history of quite a lot of very successful politicians, they have tried 2 or 3 times in different seats to win seats.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And don't do it, and then they try again and again, and then, and it's all... Yeah.
And same with multimillionaires.
Yeah.
They don't... The vast majority don't start a business and become multimillionaires. There are businesses that fail because they learn from that to move on. So nothing's ever given to us. Failure's part of life.
Yeah, and so you've had now 18 months of experience of doing this. You came third with, as you say, very little apparatus around you to take you to the next
with
stage.
No mainstream media coverage, not invited to any of the
hustings. Nothing like that.
Yeah.
Now you're going into another arena where you will get more publicity by the very nature of how it works. I'm sure you'll be going on to hustings and things like that as part of this process. And I think that's part of it. But let me also come round to I've kind of answered the second question I was going to ask you just now, and you've answered it as well. But the first question, which is intriguing for me, is amazing that you beat Burnham in Oldham. Why do the people of Oldham like you so much, Nick? What is it about you?
It's a great question. I've looked at which wards voted for me heavily and which wards didn't, and the demographics of those wards. And my first initial response was, it's because I was independent. But I was independent in every area. So why is it just so it can't just be that? And then I've had quite a few, I've had 6 or 8 emails of Muslims, people who live in Oldham, who have contacted me saying, I voted for you, I'm glad you're standing in Oldham, which surprised me because I thought the Muslim vote would go to Labour. And their answer was, well, no, I'm patriotic, I love this country, I can't stand Labour, I can't stand the Islamists, but I'm a practicing Muslim and I'm 2nd, 3rd generation. So that, I reckon I attracted some Muslim votes there because I'm not a racist. Anybody born in this country who feels English or British, as far as I'm concerned, is English or British, and we need to fight for a better country for all of us. But then there's also the white working class in Oldham as well, who've seen things changed, who feel like the underdog, and they see the rise of George Galloway next door in Rochdale. And then Oldham as well also has a big history of independence. So these are all guesses. I think it's probably a combination of them. And that's the only thing I can put it down to is those 3 things. Some of the Muslim population going, that's the sort of guy we need. Some of the white working class going, oh, we don't want George Galloway here and we need to vote independent. And then other people going, we like independence here.
In fact, that could be a motto, couldn't it? Something along the lines of, the people of Oldham are independent, so vote independent, vote Nick Buckley.
Yeah.
That's the message to get across, isn't it? If you guys are independent, you believe in yourselves, you believe in Oldham and what it should be, then vote independent, vote Nick Buckley. I think we need to get a logo like that going, basically.
Yeah.